Hey guys, what's happening? I'm Nick and I want to share with you the skills, tips and techniques that have propelled my drawings from this to this in less than a year. Good evening there guys, Artistic Nick here, thanks for the click once again. Bit of a change of pace this video from the cartoons that I've been doing recently. I'm drawing a realistic, photorealistic portrait. This time it's going to be of my daughter. So here's the reference picture and I've planned that out. So I'm going to be starting with my 4H pencil, which I have here. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to time lapse the next stage, but I'm going to be looking for the darkest areas, and I'm just going to be using a tapered stroke, and I'm going to be this type of action, finding the darkest areas and bringing them out. So I'll be popping in and out of time lapse. So as you'll see me developing the picture, I'll have a chat with you. My main focus on this video is really this hair. So down the side here, trying to get this hair looking realistic. So I would say that this is more of a hair tutorial. There's not a lot of face to do really. So it's going to be hair and a bit of fabric as well. So I'll see you after I've time-lapsed a little bit. Thanks for watching and I hope you stay around to see the progress. So as you'll see from the video, I'm starting with the darkest areas. I'm using a 4H pencil to just find the darkest places. I always start with the harder pencils, the 4H and the 2H, just so that we start to fill the tooth of the paper with the harder leads, so that as we build the layers on top of it with the darker leads, you don't get the white pitted effect that you do sometimes get if you go too dark too quickly. So I'm just making sure that I do find the darkest areas. I keep going over the eyes and the lips and the eyebrows. They're the darkest areas, just to give me a sense of realism as it's coming out of the page, just so that I don't get lost. I'm moving in between pencils, so I might use a 4H, I might use a 2H, and keep going over it and layering, leaving the hair till the end. I think the centerpiece for this picture is the hair, as you'll see as the picture develops. What you'll also notice is I'm using a brush to move the graphite around slightly. I don't blend in any of my drawings. This is just so that I've got more control and I can remove and add as I want to. What I do find is if you do start to blend, certainly with a tortillon or a blending stump, is you do grind the graphite down into the tooth of the paper, and it's very difficult to remove that. You'll see in a second that I'm just going to show you a different angle, and I'm also starting on the hair. Hey there guys, just checking in with you. I'm almost ready to start on the hair now. Well, I am actually ready to start on the hair. You've been watching me adding value to the face area. Now, one of the things that I do find as I'm doing my portraits is once you start to add the hair, you get a better idea of whether you need to add more value or less value in certain areas of the face. But I just thought that I'd show you the angle that this different angle. You've not seen this angle before on any of my videos, but I thought it was quite important now, because I'm actually going to show you the strokes or the direction of the strokes that I'm going to make in order to produce the hair, and you'll see this from the top down angle when I start to time lapse that. But basically what I'm doing is I'm holding the pencil really lightly. It's just resting in between my index finger and my middle finger. It's resting on my bottom knuckle of my index finger there, and I'm just very lightly placing the thumb down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the general direction of the hair. I'm using my HB pencil here, but I'm probably going to use the 2B. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling towards myself, so I'm getting a general feel for the direction of the hair, and I'm making these very short. I'm almost just scratching the surface, and I'm only just touching the paper, so you can hear there. And I'm going to be going over the entire hair piece, the ponytail and everything, with this type of stroke. So holding the pencil at an angle, it's about 45 degrees as I'm looking at it, and I'm just brushing the pencil over the paper, just very loosely following the direction of the hair. So this is the direction, this is the angle that I'm looking for, and I will be doing that and gradually adding more value to certain areas. Just thought that would be a good pointer to give you guys there. So I'm going to time lapse the rest of it, and I'll see you when I'm almost complete on the hair. I hope that made sense to you guys. I'm just going to time lapse the rest of it in now. So just showing you from the different angle, the type of stroke that I'm using. And again, like every drawing that I do, I'm starting with the darkest areas. If you get the darkest areas down first, you do get that sense of depth and dimension. So pulling the pen towards me all the time from top to bottom and keeping that pen on a 45-degree angle, you can see the hair starting to take shape. I'm looking again for the darkest recesses. And I'm using the 2B, I go up to the 4B, and I also do change pencils halfway through and start using the Faber-Castell as well, because I found that the Faber-Castell does layer quite well over the top of the Caran D'ache, which is the pencils that I'm using at the moment, just to start getting the very dark areas. So underneath the bow is very dark, and the hair on the side of the head, which the ponytail is coming over, is also very dark. And if we manage to get the darkness there, but without making it go flat, you will start to see the dimension and the hair starting to look like it's coming forwards. So as you can see now, we've almost got a full head of hair there now. One of the things that I do like to make sure that I do is I do take some small strands out with the eraser, just to make sure that it's given that realism and that realistic look, because not every hair is perfectly in place on anybody's head. And it's those flyaway wispy hairs that make the picture stand out. So just looking at the t-shirt now, it's a black t-shirt in the reference, but we're not going to go to black on this. We don't ever want to go to black. It's distracting for the eye. And I'm using a 2 and a 4B pencil, again layering over the top each time, finding the darkest areas and going over it time and time again until I've got a value that I'm happy with. What I am also going. Hey there guys, just thought I'd check in with you. We're nearing the end of this drawing now, but in the reference image there's a white bow in the hair. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a background around here so that I don't have to go too dark with the bow, and hopefully that will stand out enough. So what I'm doing is I'm using my HB pencil and I'm just lightly filling in areas around the bow, still with the tapered stroke. So I'm just pulling the pencil towards me. I'm not pressing too hard, and then what I'm doing is I'm using a cotton bud or a Q-tip, whatever you call it wherever you are. It's a cotton bud in England, I think it's a Q-tip in the States. And again, I'm not pressing too hard, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to grind the graphite down deep into the paper. So I'm just going to be going through this. I'll time lapse the rest of it. I just thought that I'd show you what I was doing. I've used a 2B and a 4B pencil here for the top. There might be a few finishing touches that I have a go with a 6B just in the darkest areas, but this is basically coming towards the end of this picture now. So just adding this slightly darker background, and hopefully what you'll see towards the end is you'll see this white bow in the hair really starting to stand out. So I'll time lapse the rest and I'll see you at the end. Hey there guys, just finishing this off now. So as you can see, we've added the darker background in, which does bring out this bow. I've just taken out some highlights in the cheeks. So I've really enjoyed doing this piece. I hope you've watched it till the end and you've learned a few things. It's been mainly about this hair. This was the main focus for me. So I think that I've done quite a good job. All that's left is to sign it. So I'm just going to find an area down. Let's have a look. Somewhere that looks. Let's have a go here. We'll date this one. So it's the 7th of November 2017, and that's my portrait of one of my beautiful daughters. I hope you've liked it. If you've subscribed already, thank you very much. If you've not gone subscribe, turn the notifications on, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hit subscribe, smack the notifications button, follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.